Okay, so looking at the anatomy of muscle or skeletal muscle, we have two parts, which is the skeleton and the muscle. So these are the two parts. Now, for skeleton, we relate that to the bones to which the muscles are attached and interact to form the musculoskeletal system. Now, let's try to visualize that. Let's try to draw a bone. Let's say this is the bone, and from this, the muscle is attached. So, this part where the attachment occurs, this part, this is called the tendon. And finally, from the tendon, the muscle that starts to emerge. And if we draw a cross section of that, we can see this muscle is divided into various different sections like this. Right? So let's extend one of the sections and make a cross section out of that. So I'm going to delete this portion in between. And again, this section that we extended, this is again divided into various different sections. And we can again extend one of these little sections, which is finally one muscle cell. So single muscle cell. And this muscle cell is referred to as a muscle fiber. Right? So this is the unit of a whole muscle, which sort of makes up everything. Which sort of makes up the complete portion of the muscle. So this part from which a single cell sort of emerged, many single muscle cells, they combine together to form what is called a muscle bundle. This has got a fancy name called fascicle. It's Fascicle. And this muscle bundle, this is kind of surrounded by a connective tissue. So this connective tissue is called the fascia. So this is the connective tissue. So right from our bones, we got to know how a muscle cell emerges. Like, what is the anatomy of a muscle cell? So this was our whole muscle, which is again formed by various different muscle bundles, and one muscle bundle is formed by various different single muscle cells. So that was the anatomy. Now let's take one muscle cell. Right? So if we take one muscle cell, we can find various different patterns over it, which we often refer to as striations. So there is a uniform pattern, and we call this striations. These striations are nothing but mixture of two different proteins, two different components. One of it is actin and the other one is myosin. So these two proteins, they kind of make up the contractile unit of a skeletal muscle. Right, so the striations, or the different patterns, they're frequently identified by different letters. Right, so if we look closely at a striation, so it would be something like this. There would be one dark band which is followed by a line, and again there would be one dark band which is followed by another line, and again there would be one dark band. Now inside this dark band we have again some darker portions on either side of the dark bands, like this. And all these different patterns, they have certain letters associated with it. So if I kind of make it like this, then this portion, which is the complete dark band, this one, this is called the A band. Right, now this line over here and over here, this is the Z line. This is also another Z line. Right, so A band is the darker band, whereas the lighter band in between two A bands, so this portion, this is referred to as the I band. Right, and the lighter portion in between the A band, like I said, inside the A band we again have the either side of the A band is a bit darker than the portion which is in between. So this part, it is called the H band. Right, and one more thing, from one Z line, show it in another color, one Z line to another Z line, this is a unit which is called the sarcomere, which is the unit of muscle, of a skeletal muscle. And if you look closely at two Z lines, I mean the portion in between two Z lines, let's draw it once more. So over here we have a Z line, let's say this is a Z line, and another Z line over here. From the Z line, the protein that is attached is the actin. So these are all actin. So make them a little bit longer. And in between the actins, that is the the A band portion that we have, myosins like this, which are attached by the myosin head to the actin in between the Z lines. So that is why this portion where they're overlapping, the actin and the myosin, this kind looks like dark. This is darker portion, and that is the A band. And the lighter portions, which would span from one portion of the actin taking the Z line and to the other portion of the actin on the other side, that is the I band, the lighter one. Right, now when the muscles sort of contract, the A band, when they're contracting, the A band, the length of the A band becomes shorter, because when they're contracting, this would go this side and this would try to come in the middle. So length becomes shorter, and that's how we can say that they're contracting. And the myosins, they are kind of attached in the middle. They're attached in the middle, and this line where the myosin is attached, we can see a separate line over there. This is called the M line, right? So these are the different striations, and these are the different letters associated with the striations, and that's the anatomy of skeletal muscle. In another video, we are going to look at the contraction relaxation, or the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction. So that's about it. Thank you, and share this video if you like it.